He smashes rackets at night and rocks his baby to sleep before dawn. He yells at umpires in packed arenas, but whispers bedtime stories in the quiet of Monaco. This is Daniil Medvedev, the man who turned contradictions into power. The world calls him tennis's villain. His family calls him dad. And every sunrise reveals a life built on discipline, luxury, and an endless chase for balance. Morning in Monaco. The Mediterranean glows gold as it leaks through the vast glass walls of Medvedev's hillside villa. The air smells of sea salt and coffee. Downstairs, his wife Daria moves through the kitchen with their daughters, Elisa, 2 years old, and baby Victoria, born early 2025. The house hums softly, a rare kind of calm before another day of competition, data, and drive. Medvedev begins every morning with precision, no social media, no distractions. He checks his recovery score on his smartwatch, stretching his long 1.98-meter frame while the waves crash below the balcony. Oatmeal, espresso, measured hydration. It's not indulgence, it's calculation. Luxury, he once said, is having the freedom to live exactly the way you want. For him, that means control. Before breakfast ends, he scrolls through messages from his fitness coach and new head coach Thomas Johansson. The day's plan flashes on his screen. Court drills, cardio block, tactical review. He kisses Daria on the forehead, playfully tugs at Elisa's ponytail, and steps into the Monaco morning. From mathematics to mastery, every move Daniil Medvedev makes feels deliberate, even the ones that look chaotic. The secret is mathematics. Long before tennis, he was the kid in Moscow who loved numbers more than games. He learned piano and chess, studied physics and economics, obsessed over patterns. When his mother saw a swimming pool notice advertising tennis lessons, she enrolled him. 9-year-old Daniil traded equations for rackets, but he never stopped calculating. He later attended the Moscow State Institute of International Relations to study economics. But after months of lectures and training conflicts, he made a decision that changed everything. "I realized," he said, "you can't play halftime in this sport." He dropped out, his parents sold their apartment, and they moved to France so he could train full-time at the Antibes Academy. Training, the grind behind the glamour. By 10 a.m., he's at the Monte Carlo Country Club, the sun bouncing off the baseline. The facility smells of clay and salt air. Every drill begins with intensity. 10-shot forehand sequences, endless backhand rallies, then serve placement measured by sensor. His coaches analyze data in real time. Impact height, reaction speed, recovery heart rate. It's a laboratory disguised as a tennis court. Medvedev's mind treats it that way. Tennis is math. He jokes to his trainer between points. Probability, angles, and mistakes. Halfway through practice, frustration flares. A double fault. Another. He curses in Russian under his breath, tosses the ball high again, and hits an ace clean down the tee. The anger burns off like fuel. Control re-enters the equation. The new coaching team watches quietly. They understand the pattern. Chaos, correction, calm. Medvedev's daily rhythm. When training ends, he jogs a cool-down lap beneath the Mediterranean sky. The world outside sees him as unpredictable. Inside, he's a man of systems, measuring every calorie, every heartbeat, every serve. The drive of solitude. After lunch, grilled salmon, greens, mineral water, he slips behind the wheel of his black BMW M8 Grand Coupe. Monaco's narrow roads twist above the coastline. Tourists snap photos of the sea. He drives with the radio low, thinking through strategy like a chessboard in motion. He's not interested in flash. He's interested in quiet. "People think I'm aggressive because they see me screaming," he once said. "But peace is the only thing I actually want." Sometimes Daria joins him on these drives. They stop for coffee near Port Hercule, walk the promenade hand in hand. He watches yachts slide across the bay and smiles. All this, he tells her, is noise. What matters is focus. She nods. She's lived that focus, once a promising junior herself before injuries ended her career. The fire in the formula. When he returns home, the afternoon heat fades. In the backyard, Elisa has stolen one of his rackets. She swings clumsily, hitting a tennis ball into the bushes. Daniil laughs, retrieves it, and drops to one knee. "You missed like I used to," he says, handing her the ball again. This is the side of him cameras rarely show. On court, he's fire, taunting crowds, shouting at umpires, embracing chaos. At home, he's patience incarnate. He helps Daria prepare dinner, checks emails about sponsor events, then settles in to read bedtime stories to his daughters. Fatherhood, he admits, changed everything. "It made me slower to anger." Mostly, he adds with a grin, but not always. The man who beat a king. Flashback? 2021 US Open Final. New York. Novak Djokovic, the unbeatable. Chasing the calendar, Grand Slam. Across the net, a calm Russian with icy eyes. 3 sets later, history belongs to Daniil Medvedev. The crowd roars. Djokovic collapses. Medvedev falls on the court, mimicking a PlayStation dead fish celebration, and later dedicates the victory to Daria. That night, he says to reporters, "It was our 3rd anniversary, and I had no gift. So I decided to win the US Open." The joke hides the truth. Behind the sarcasm lies sentiment. Since then, he's been both hero and heretic. Booed in Melbourne, cheered in Paris, mocked, adored. He accepts it all. I'm simple off court, he tells Eurosport. But inside, my world is complicated. The modest millionaire. Medvedev's wealth is unquestionable. Over $48 million in prize money, multiple global endorsements, but he remains oddly frugal. He once confessed to flying economy. It's better to save money for new car tires than waste it on an extra seat. His partnerships reflect his personality: Lacoste apparel for clean lines and logic, Technofiber for precision, Beauvais watches for craftsmanship, BMW for speed with restraint. Each brand mirrors a piece of him, style without noise. When journalists press him about fortune, he shrugs. Money is freedom, not fame, he says. Then he laughs, adjusts his watch, and returns to practice, a rebellion refined. Every star needs an edge. For Medvedev, it's defiance. Flashback again, US Open 2019, third-round chaos. He flips a finger at the crowd, smirks during boos, then apologizes after the match. That same night, he wins again. And again. The fans who hated him begin to cheer. "I'm not a villain," he later explains. "I'm just honest in a dishonest sport." That defiance reshaped tennis. While others sculpted image, he embraced imperfection. When he took Djokovic's world #1 ranking in 2022, ending the Serb's record 361-week reign, he didn't gloat. He smiled, almost shyly. "It's weird," he said. "I like Novak too much to celebrate." Evening luxury, quiet ambition. By 7 p.m., dinner glows under soft lights. Grilled vegetables, pasta, mineral water, a single glass of wine. Daria laughs as Elisa tries to feed him broccoli. They talk about travel plans, his next tournament, and bedtime chaos. When the girls sleep, he steps onto the terrace. Below, the Riviera sparkles. The yachts gleam like constellations. He could be at a party, but instead he stands barefoot on the marble floor, staring at the horizon. Somewhere he knows another player is training under fluorescent lights, chasing him. The thought excites him. He scrolls through match data on his phone. Serve accuracy, return patterns, shot placement. The analysis never ends. Luxury, he murmurs, is time to improve. The year of reinvention. The 2025 season nearly broke him. Early Grand Slam exits, a meltdown at Wimbledon, frustration boiling over in Shanghai. Cameras caught him shouting at an umpire, "Stop intimidating me." Headlines declared crisis. But out of the noise came evolution. He ended his 8-year partnership with Gilles Savara, hired new coaches, and rebuilt his mentality. 2 months later, he lifted the trophy at the Almaty Open, his 21st career title. In the speech, his voice cracked. "For my wife and daughter," he said, "thank you for patience." It wasn't the biggest trophy, but it was the most human. The same hands that once smashed rackets now held family first, the business mind. Later that night, he joins a call with sponsors. Deals with Beauvais, BMW, and Lacoste glide across his tablet screen. He discusses campaign shots, travel logistics, and philanthropic initiatives for Russian youth sports. He doesn't delegate everything. He reads contracts line by line. His economics background never left him. He's planning the next phase. Maybe an academy, maybe a performance data company. He wants to merge analytics and tennis for the next generation. "I want to give them tools," he says, "not excuses." The quiet night. At 10 p.m., the villa is silent except for the distant hum of waves. He sits beside Daria on the couch, controller in hand. A quick PlayStation session, his old habit. For a few rounds, the champion disappears, replaced by the gamer kid from Moscow. When the screen fades to black, he heads to the nursery. He leans over the crib, brushes Victoria's tiny hand and smiles. "Tomorrow," he whispers, "I'll hit one less double fault." Back in his room, he sets his watch, slides under the sheets, and stares at the ceiling. His mind still spins. Trajectories, spin ratios, crowd noise, calm seas. Finally, the numbers slow. The man and the myth. Medvedev's life isn't glamorous because of wealth. It's extravagant because of extremes. He is logic and emotion, chaos and control, arrogance and humility. Every day, he rebuilds the line between them. He once said, "Some people need noise to feel alive. I need silence." That silence is his weapon. When he steps onto court again, whether it's Melbourne, Paris, or New York, he carries Monaco's calm inside him like armor. Tomorrow morning, the pattern will repeat. Sunrise stretch, espresso, sweat, analysis, laughter, reflection. The world will keep watching the outbursts, the sarcasm, the brilliance, but only he knows that every chaotic moment hides the most organized mind in tennis. The camera drifts across the Riviera night. The sea glows silver, the city hums in soft blue. Inside one quiet villa, a light clicks off. The man the world calls unpredictable sleeps exactly on schedule. Because for Daniil Medvedev, the true luxury of life is not comfort or wealth or applause, it's precision. It's peace earned through obsession. It's the freedom to wake each morning knowing that perfection is impossible and chasing it anyway.